called Ostuni, and it is known as the White City.
It's starting to feel like Squid Game a little bit. There are literally stairs everywhere. I regret to inform you that we are staying in a pile of rocks.
When I found this place online, I was like, book immediately. Welcome to Alberobello. There's so many of them. Last week, we took you along with us as we road tripped down the Adriatic coast and watched the sun sink into the Ionian Sea. And today, we're heading to two must-visit towns in the Puglia region, Ostuni and Alberobello, home of the famous Trulli. We're Howard and Caitlin Newstate, dog people, food people, adventure people. We've been living on the road for the past 3 years, traveling through North America and beyond. For the past several weeks, we've taken you along as we've eaten and explored our way through Italy. From coast to coast, city to town, by boat, train, and automobile, you've been with us as we visited over a dozen places in this gorgeous country. And with only a few more stops to go, we're showing you why a trip to this area of Italy is definitely worth it. Good morning. We left our cute little bed and breakfast in Lecce this morning, and we drove about an hour to another awesome medieval town. It's called Ostuni, and it is known as the White City, and you will see why in just a minute. Howard's actually getting ready to fly the drone. We found this pull-off behind the walled city. As we were driving in, you start to get glimpses of the city that is built up on top of a hill, and it is incredible. Like many of the ancient towns found throughout Italy, Ostuni has a unique past dating back thousands of years. The city was destroyed by Hannibal and eventually rebuilt by the Greeks who gave it its name, which means new city. There's even a unique story that during the plague, Ostuni fared better than most because of its white walls. It was believed that the paint, made of lime, acted as a disinfectant, helping to protect residents. Today, it's home to one of the largest British populations in Italy and is a great place to spend an afternoon getting lost in its beautiful alleyways. You can even go on a scavenger hunt of sorts to find the famous Blue Door of Ostuni. So these are called ape calasinos, and they are now used as a method for tourists to go around the city and learn about the history. But back in the day, that's how all the produce from the farmland was brought up into the town, because we're really high on a big hill right now, and it's all surrounded by farmland, so they'd bring all the produce up with these. So another thing that Ostuni is known for are all of these arches that connect the buildings. It's really interesting architecture. Because Ostuni is built on a big hill, that means there are big hills to walk up to get to the city center. It's nothing like Cinque Terre.
No, I was just gonna say, I don't feel like this is the worst that we have been up against. They do have, it's interesting, they have special stones that are kind of roughed up in order to make it easier for cars to drive up, because it is that steep.
Wow. Okay, this really puts it into perspective how high we are. What do you think?
This is starting to feel like Squid Game a little bit. There are literally stairs everywhere in every direction. I think it's beautiful. I love the singular color thing. I can definitely see where people see similarities between this and some of the famous Greek. I think it's really awesome.
Out of all the walled cities that we have visited on this trip, this one definitely is the most maze-like.
I'm using our GPS on Google Maps in order to get us around because, frankly, this is very confusing. There's just alleyways in all directions.
As you drive through the southern region of Puglia, you'll start to notice these stone structures. The plural name is Trulli. They're usually white with a pointy cone-shaped roof. The 15th century architecture has turned into a tourism jackpot over the past several years, with vacationers like us flocking to the area and booking renovated Trulli for a chance to stay in one of the most unique buildings in the world.
Okay, we've actually reached our destination, and I regret to inform you that we are staying in a pile of rocks. Caitlin, what is this?
How incredible is this? We are spending the night in a traditional Trullo, and I am so over the moon excited. When I found this place online, I was like, book immediately. Want to see inside?
Yeah, let's go.
Oh, how cool is this? This is over 200 years old and has been in the family that long. It was used in wine production. And then they had the genius idea of renovating it, but keeping the integrity of the structure and turning it into this absolutely beautiful Airbnb that Howard and I get to spend the night in.
Yeah, look at the bathroom.
Oh, the bathroom's incredible, guys.
Look at this.
We'll have a link in the description for a full walkthrough of our time here in the Trullo, and if you want to book your own stay, there'll be a link for that as well. Why are you all dressed up, Howard?
Oh, because I dress up when I make dinner.
You better, that's for my sister's wedding, you might want to change that before you use pasta sauce. We got dressed up and had a little photo shoot outside because that's what you do when you're in a fancy house in the Italian countryside, right?
Absolutely.
And then we decided to go to the grocery store and we're having dinner for like €5 because we have a kitchen and this adorable place. Why go out?
Oh, this is good sauce.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like basically tomato and pork sausage. So it's like a bolognese, but with pork. All dressed up, ready for dinner.
Bon appetit. That's French.
Chin chin or cheers.
Chow down.
Ciao, let's go. Now we're gonna see a whole bunch more Trullis. We're gonna go to a town full of them, actually.
It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site too, so we're checking another one of those off the list. There's so many of them.
So the town of Alberobello is actually just like
Alberobello.
Alberobello. So the town of Alberobello. So the town of Alberobello.
You want me to say it?
No,
Alberobello.
Alberobello. So the town. So the town of Alberobello. They're good. Yeah. Okay. So the town of Alberobello, like many of the other towns we visited, has their Old Town section, which in this case is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. But then they also have the New City. Well, there's one Trullo, though, that is in the New City that we're going to go check out now, and it is the self-declared king of the Trullos.
Here it is, the Trullo Sovrano. Sovrano means king, and this is the largest one that exists and the only one that's 2 stories, and you're able to go in and take a tour, so we're gonna go do that now. So in the bedroom here, there's what's called a spy hole, which is not only used to see who's at the door, but also to, quote, fire a shot at ill-intentioned people.
It's definitely interesting to see how the people lived, because I have a feeling as we go through some more of these Trullos that there will be descriptions just like this, talking about kind of the day in and day out of that particular occupant or family.
What's interesting about this one too is that it was built in phases, and so they were talking about on the plaques how it was kind of an interesting look at early architecture and how they melded the rooms together to create essentially one large structure over time. The upstairs, I mean, I'm 5'5" and my head was like right there.
Well, that was really cool, but don't fool yourself. 40 people cannot fit inside one Trulli.
Even a large 2-story one.
It was bananas.
We made it to the Siamese Trullo, and there's a funny legend behind why these 2 cones are conjoined, hence the name Siamese. The story goes that 2 brothers fell in love with the same woman, so they all decided to move into one Trullo, hence conjoining their cones. Well, as you can imagine, that didn't go so well, and they ended up exiling one of the brothers out of the home. But the Trullo still remains today. It's up to you on whether you want to believe that story or not. Alberobello has become a bit touristy, and so I think sometimes people tend to skip over it or maybe be on the fence about coming. We're here on a Saturday, granted it is October, so it's the off season, but it is not super busy or overrun with tourists, and it's definitely worth coming and walking around, spending a few hours. Well, our time here in the beautiful Trullo has come to an end. I'm so sad. This was awesome, and I highly recommend if you're ever in this area, you have to stay in one of these. I would definitely recommend this one. It's beautiful. The attention to detail is incredible. The bed was super comfortable. I give it 10 out of 10 stars. 11 out of 10. Bonus star. All right, let's go. Got the key. Lock it up. Bye. Next week, we continue exploring Italy as we take you to another UNESCO World Heritage Site and possibly my favorite place on our trip, Matera, the former, quote, shame of Italy. You won't want to miss this story. Make sure you subscribe and click the bell. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you soon.